Okay, the project this week is we've got a couple empty heating oil drums, and we're going to save them from ending up in a landfill or having to worry about the hazardous waste in them. It's just heating oil. One of them apparently just has been empty. Well, they've both been empty for quite a while. Turn them into planters. Not my idea, but it's been done before. But that's where we're going to be today. So we're going to cut them vertically wise into 4 30-inch high planters. Alright, we got one side cut. We'll flip it over and finish off the other side, so that should give us 2 30-inch planters. Alright, continue on. Alright, it's pretty clean inside. They've been sitting for quite a few years, so bit of rust. What we're going to do is we're going to start a little fire in them, burn out any of the residuals. That'll clean them up. Don't get excited about burning them because it was heating oil in this, and that's exactly what was going to happen to anything that was in it. It was going to get burnt, and that's the safest way to dispose of this stuff. Because that's how waste oil is getting rid of. It's blended into crude oil and it's burnt. So this is a lot better than dumping it in a landfill or leaching into the soil. Alright, talk to you later. And a disclaimer for this too. Just remember, you have to know what's inside these tanks, because these old tanks could be used for all kinds of stuff. You have to make sure that they were used for oil and they're not full of oil, or they don't have a lot of liquid in them. You have to drain them out. Diesel heating oil is not as flammable as gasolines and other solvents, so it's up to you to make sure your tanks are safe. It's not, I'm not telling you this is the way to do it. This is the way I'm doing it. That's why we're doing it in the winter time. It's not hot, there's no vapors, and diesel fuel is not as flammable as gas. So we've got one cut already. This was a 250 gallon tank. They've been sitting around for quite a few years. So I've got one cut out now, and I'll show you how we measure the line and draw the line on them. So basically we're just cutting them vertically into pie shapes. This one's we're going to have a little piece left over to make an awesome fire ring for a fireplace or something, or an outdoor fire pit. So we'll save that, and then we'll cut that one in half as well. So we should have 4 of them 30 inches high, and they're going to be our raised beds. So we did 30 inches because the 200 gallon tank is 60 inches wide, so I wanted 4 all the same heights. So all you do is you measure over 30 inches, mark it there, mark it here, do the same on this side. We already got this part half cut off, so we just line up the straight edge with the cut pieces. I just use a piece of flexible steel that I had. You can use a flexible ruler, you can use masking tape, you can use all kinds of stuff to transfer that line around. Here we're going to go on the 30 inch at the center. And we'll just line these up. I'm going to line them up with the cut. So we have a nice even edge here. Do the same on the other side.
Is there anything special about that grinder?
No, it's just a 4.5 inch angle grinder, and we're using they call them cutoff discs. They're like a 1/16 of an inch or an 1/8 of an inch wide. You'll probably need a couple of them per cut.
So that's the fire ring you were talking about.
And that'll be a perfect fire ring.
Okay. We gonna use that at the property or?
Oh, might.
Ooh, that's a float.
It's an old float for the tank.
Can you use it for something?
Well, you never know.
So now what? What are you going to do with those sharp edges?
What's that?
What are you going to do with those sharp edges?
Well, so the sharp edges, we're going to get a what we call a flap wheel. We're going to get a flap wheel, and we're going to cut all the, or grind all the rough edges off. I'll do that next. So that's the flap disc we're going to use, and that's going to address all the edges on the tanks. All right.
Make them not sharp.
Yeah. I mean, you can put.
That's a different shape than the cutting wheel you were using.
Yeah. Well, these are the cutting discs. So you see how thin they are?
Yeah. Who makes those?
Everybody makes them. I mean, Norton is a, you know, I'm sure all over North America they'll know Norton, but there's all kinds of companies that make them.
Mm.
I use these because that's what they had, and it was the cheapest ones.
Oh, okay. And that's the same with the one. What's this difference here with this?
Well, the flap disc is just this is for sanding and polishing. This is for cutting. Okay.
Okay.
That's the difference.
Oh. Well, I learned something today.
Yeah. All right, let's go clean them up. Okay, so the edges are nice and round off, not sharp anymore, but you could split some rubber hose and put some rubber hose around it if you want, if you're really worried about it. But, if you take your time and you round these edges off pretty good, it should last. And then to finish it off, we'll drill about a half a dozen holes at the bottom of this. And then we're when we set these up, we'll do the permaculture stuff. We'll fill it 3/4 with yard waste and rotten logs and stuff to about 6 inches from the top, and then that'll be soil composting. We're making composting back here, so we'll add the topsoil, and that'll be the planter. And it's a lot easier to take care of a raised bed. It's just easier.
Oh boy, I'll tell you, the weeding is like a fraction.
Yeah, and you're not on your bent over, and you're not on your hands and knees doing it.
Especially when you're our age.
Yeah, especially when you're our age. So I've drilled some drain holes in the ones we burnt yesterday. I used a step bit on my big drill. It seemed to work pretty good. Goes through fairly nice. Them step bits are pretty nice. They're good for sheet metal for sure. I think they're gonna make nice. Raised beds. See how they last. And they are going to rust, but things rust and things rot. So, and we saved them from the landfill. All right, talk to you later.